the one and only Aaron Guillen. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
I'm doing good, buddy. Thank you. And I was just talking to somebody the other day. I think you were the first Rowdies guy that I ever interviewed when you came back into their old radio station back in the day. And I was just like, man, Aaron's the best, bro. He's such a nice guy, so calm. Oh yeah, and I go to a game, and then you are going, bro. I've asked Coach Neil about this, Coach Robbie about this, Leo, Forrest, bro. You play with the fire out there, buddy. I mean, it just seems like as soon as you cross that line, no more Mr. Nice Guy. Aaron Guillen comes to play. Like, what is there a switch that gets flipped? Like, what is that all about? I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, that's something that I have actually gotten a lot better since playing professional. So that tells you a little bit more about me when I used to play in college. But yeah, I mean, it's just a passion that I like to play, and obviously there's points on the line, and just want to get better every day. So that's just something I like to do every time, even when we're training as well.
How important is it to you to wear that armband as a captain? It's such a storied franchise like the Rowdies.
Yeah, I mean, I always say it's a privilege, first of all, to be able to play for the Rowdies, and to have that responsibility of wearing the armband and leading the guys out there. It's amazing, and obviously we have a lot of leaders on the team, but just leading that group, it's an amazing feeling for me to do it on my second season already.
I was just having this conversation with Forrest last week about I call you guys like the kind of the core four guys that have been here for so long with you, Forrest, Lewis, and Leo. I mean, how important is it to have each other to kind of bounce ideas off of and know that it's even though you're wearing the armband, it's not just you that is taking on the leadership duties?
Yeah, no, it's super important. We all know what the club means to us. We've been, like you said, we've been here for a long time, and we know what is expected from the club. So we try to replicate that on the field, and just pull the new guys, and even the returning players to do our best every day that we're out here, and represent the Rowdies the way they're supposed to be represented.
I was so excited for the game last week against Las Vegas. Unfortunately, you guys weren't able to pull out the win. It was just kind of a funky play there to give up the goal. But, man, you want to talk about that was a goal that came against the run of play. On the road, first game, I thought you guys played fantastic. Unfortunately, no goals to show for it. But what's the message after that game from whether it was the coach or whether it's the team? Because, it's just the first game of the year. Obviously, you're starting the first couple of games on the road. But I felt like as mad as I was that you guys didn't win, I was just like, man, if you play like that, you guys are going to be in good shape this season. How did you guys feel after that one?
Yeah, honestly, the feeling is mutual. No one wants to lose. I think we lost the opportunity to get some points on the road because, like you said, I believe that we outplayed Vegas, but
Yeah.
obviously the score didn't go our way. But I think we need to find a way to get points on the road against these teams, because obviously we dominated, so we know we deserve it. But it's a game of football, and anything could happen. But we need to find the way to if we don't win that game, at least to bring a point back home.
Yeah, exactly. And what is that like when you saw the schedule, knowing that you're going to start the games on the road? Obviously a game coming up this weekend in Tulsa, but is that mindset changed to start the season because you're on the road?
No, I think I mean, at the end of the day, we're gonna go on the road regardless, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the schedule is planned for us, and we need to get back to LA as soon as possible. Obviously, we all want to be there, and the fans wants us to be back, but it's just the circumstances we're in, and I think we need to do the best we can, and then take advantage of the home games we have in a row here.
Aaron, I can't wait to be back at Al Lang to watch you guys do your thing. What was that like last year, man, with the storms and everybody getting displaced, and then you guys having to play your games on the road? I mean, it was wild. It was wild. I mean, just even for us, like watching you guys playing, and it's just like we our hearts went out and you guys were playing your tails off. What was that like experiencing something like that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not a nice feeling for the community to suffer, first of all, right? I mean, soccer comes in second, in my opinion, but now that everything has recovered and we're on the way to, obviously the whole community hasn't recovered yet, but we're on the way for that, and our stadium is the one that took one of those hits, and hopefully we're back out there. So, but no, like I tell you, we have to adapt to all the circumstances and things that come at us. That's something that's out of our control. and we just do as best as we can. Just like the club did the best we could to find us a pitch to play here instead of going away. That's what we just need to adapt.
How long does it take for you guys? Because certain years you'll have a lot of turnover, certain years will have not a lot of turnover. But Cal's not with you guys anymore. Obviously, you have Manu up front, but there are some new faces, right? You have Ali, you have some of these other guys. How long does it take for that chemistry to be built? Is that something that can be built before the season kicks off, or is that something where you have to kind of go through some games first to kind of realize like who's going to step forward and who's going to be able to do certain things at certain times?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's a mismatch. Obviously, all the players that come in here have quality. You just got to start getting used to each other and know their tendencies, what they're good at, what they lack. But we did have a good preseason. We had 6 weeks of a preseason, and we have a pretty good group, and everyone gets along, so that helps on the pitch as well. So I think obviously with time in the season going more games, we're going to get used to each other more and hopefully get better as a team and reach our goal, which is to win a championship, obviously.
I saw the social media post from the Rowdies. I don't know. Did you see it? They were showing the picture of you, Lewis, Forrest, and Leo when you first joined the Rowdies to now. Your hair was so perfectly coiffed, like right here, bro. You had the David De Gea look, as I used to call it. Now the hair's growing out a little bit. You're getting a little flow. You got a little, soccer/hockey. Like times have changed. And then Forrest was all cut, and now obviously we know the mane that he's got. It's kind of crazy to see, the changes of the looks over the years, isn't it?
Yeah, honestly, I looked at it and I was like, wow, that's a complete different change. But yeah, I think in my speaking for myself, I needed a bit of a change. I had that same style for a long time, and I don't know, I got tired of it, and I was like, let's just let it grow and see what happens. And here we are.
How's everything at home? What's going on? What are you doing off the pitch? And obviously with the season going on right now, time at home is less and less and less, but what are you doing now to kind of relax once the season starts to make sure you kind of turn the brain off a little bit to kind of rest and recuperate?
On my side, there's no turning off the brain. I have 2 jobs. I go home and I have to take care of the baby, which give my wife a little bit of a break, but no, it's fun. It's obviously it's just get home, take care of the baby, spend time with my wife and the family. And it's amazing. I love it. It's just my second job. It's the best thing.
I asked Forrest this. I want to ask you too, because I had this conversation years ago with a player on the Rays. I asked him because he had a baby, and I go, does it change your outlook on the game at all? And he goes, no, I don't think so. And then he came up to me like 2 weeks later, and he came up and he ran up and he grabbed my arm. He's like, Jay, I'm like, what? He's like, you were right. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, you're right. I went 0 for 4 last night, and I didn't care because I had the baby at home. Like it changed his perspective on, hey, you're going to have bad days. You're going to have great days. But when you go home and your baby looks up at you, they don't care. They don't care. They're just mad. They're just happy that dad is home. Has your perspective on the game and your profession playing for the Rowdies changed at all being a father?
Honestly, I think I've been pretty light person when it comes to that throughout my career, thinking about the result. I can't affect it anymore, so just moving on.
Right.
But I think having a kid at home and just being able to get home and have a different distraction and just not overthink, maybe you do relax a little bit more on that sense. But on the field, it's the same feeling. You want to win and you want to compete every single day you're in it. And you want to reach that goal, like I told you, to be a champion. And in order for that to happen, you got to show up every day here on training. But I think you do lose a little bit of, let's say, a little bit less stress going back home and knowing there's something else waiting, honestly, something bigger waiting at home, because it's a human being waiting for you. And all they want to do is play with you and smile at you. So it is nice to go home to.
Yeah, you could say that here, brother. I know some people are like, well, what do you mean he doesn't care about the game? Like, we know, bro. Being a parent and your family's got to be number one at all times. I got this here, 2 stars above the crest, brother. What would that mean? I mean, I know me, like when I talk about it, I get like choked up thinking about it, because Jeff Attanella, one of my really good friends, he was, the guy that brought the 2nd star there. What would it mean to you guys, to you personally, to get a 3rd star to win the USL championship, man? Because I know to me, like, I'll go crazy, man. I'm sure with you guys and all the blood, sweat, and tears you put into it, I mean, this is what you guys dream about.
Yeah, honestly, for me, I think we deserve it at this point, right? I've been here this is my 6th season. We've been so close twice, and we fell short. One of them we didn't play. The second one we fell short. But I think we deserve it, not especially, but Forrest, Lewis, myself, the guys that have been here, Leo, the longest. I think we know what needs to happen and what the city needs and wants, and I think it's time for us to put the third one up there.
Yeah, I was at that game against Orange County, and I just remember walking out of the stadium and just shell shocked. Like even to this day, like I have a shirt from that game, and I have trouble wearing it because I'm like, I thought you guys had it, and it just happens sometimes, man. It's just when you're not playing best of 3 or best of 5, you just got to be better on that one day, and they were. You just got to tip your hat and just try to keep going, try to get another opportunity to win it. What's the thing right now that you guys like? Do you guys talk smack about? So, like with my teams that I played over the years, we talk smack about like our favorite football teams, our favorite baseball teams. Are there other like soccer teams like in Europe? Do you guys talk smack about the Premier League or La Liga or Ligue 1 or anybody? Like, what's the smack talk like with the team?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we make fun of Wazzy all the time because he brings different jerseys. Like, bro, you got to pick one team. But he brings United, Bayern, Chelsea, City. I'm like, all right, let's stick to one. And then the other one too, we play a fantasy league with the Prem, so we're involved in a group chat there and give each other some.
There you go.
Some
Who
talk.
who do you support? Like, who are your teams over in Europe?
Barcelona.
Barca all day, every day. No
Yeah.
Madrid no Madrid for you, buddy.
No.
Did you watch any of that game yesterday?
Unfortunately, I did.
It's hotly contested battle between those two. But what do you like about Barca right now, man? It seems like that I was looking at some things yesterday of, you got Robert Lewandowski there, and Rafinha has been just an absolute. I remember watching Rafinha at Leeds in the Premier League, and I'm like, this guy's going to Barcelona. Now he's one of the best wingers in the world. Like Barcelona's got sometimes that magic dust that they sprinkle on these players, and all of a sudden they become world beaters. What do you like most about Barcelona right now?
I think what I like the most is how young they are. I mean, it's just the confidence that they're giving to these young guys, and they're just playing, and obviously they're being successful right now. Like I say, the most important for them is to get trophies at the end of the season. So we have to wait a couple months to see if they achieve that. But you have Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Rafinha, and then you have a lot of young guys, and then you have a lot of veterans as well. So that compensates, and obviously it's working for them right now. But let's see how it ends. Hopefully it ends with La Liga and the Champions League.
Yeah, Lamine Yamal, man. I mean, to see a guy that's not, it's hard not to compare him. And I know nobody's Messi, right? But it's hard not to compare him to Messi because the way he's able to just so delicately take these shots from outside the 18-yard box and just curve them in and bend them right in. The kid's mind is just on another level. Like it is amazing to watch him do his thing. You mentioned getting trophies. Another trophy this year, you got the Jägermeister Cup to go with the U.S. Open Cup. How important is that to be able to get? Because I think that's something that gets lost here in America, where we focus so much on the league. But I mean, you go across the world and you win, the Copa del Rey, or you win, the FA Cup, or you win some of these other trophies, the Pokal. Like those, that's a big deal too. Like you want to win, you want to achieve, and you want to attain that silverware. How great is it that you have pretty much 3 chances to get some silverware this year?
Yeah, I mean, we're always grateful to compete for other trophies as well, and I think it's a good opportunity to showcase that new tournament, which is us in the League One. So I think it's important to take the tournament serious, obviously, because it's the first year, and it would be nice to get the first trophy as well. But I think it's very important to just have different competitions and in different levels and leagues, and it's just soccer in America is growing so much, and I think it's good for the whole country.
Yeah, for sure. And then I'm excited because I feel like when people go to a Rowdies game, they're hooked. And I know how exciting it is going to be for you. Well, I ask you, like, how exciting is it going to be after all this time, after the storm, to finally get out there in front of Rouse Mob, to finally get out there in front of all the supporters? When you play that first game at Outlang, how exciting is that going to be?
Yeah, I honestly think that's a question that we get asked the most. Every time we get interviewed or anything, that's the number one question. And it's something that honestly you can't really describe because we loved playing in front of our fans and we know how great it is. Just the venue in general. You have the water right next to the stadium. For me, it's one of the best stadiums in the league. So just to be able to be out there and compete again in front of our fans, I think it's going to mean the world for us. And I think we deserve to be back home.
Heck yeah, man. They're back in action this Saturday night, 8 p.m. FC Tulsa. You can watch all the games on Tampa Bay 44. And if not, I think the two games that aren't, I think they're on ESPN. They're on ESPN 2, which is great. I mean, the game June 25th against the Indy 11 on ESPN 2, and then Saturday, August 16th against Phoenix Rising on ESPN 2. Every other game on Tampa Bay 44 and pretty much ESPN Plus. First home game, April 12th against Loudoun United. You know I'll be there in attendance. And the guy that'll be leading the team onto the field, onto the pitch, our good buddy, Aaron Guillen. Aaron, always great catching up with you, my friend. So glad to see you back on the pitch with the boys. Good luck this Saturday. Stay healthy, and I'll see you at Outlying in a couple weeks, my friend.
Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it. Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. The one and only